November 11th, 2023. In East London, 26-year-old Anselm Senaj stepped into a taxi, unaware his final moments were approaching. His desperate cry to the driver, "They will kill me," was a chilling premonition. This is the account of a targeted ambush, a brutal act of violence executed in seconds, and the meticulous police work that exposed 6 young men bound by a murderous purpose.
We're shortly be outside towards Fisher Road.
Our story begins at 9:51 p.m. A silver Toyota Prius taxi, operated by Gold Line Cars, picked up Anselm Senaj from Stratford Rail Station. Initially, the 26-year-old seemed at ease, even laughing during a phone call in a foreign language, bound for Green Street. But the route soon took an unsettling turn. A second male, identified as Anselm's cousin, joined them near Forest Gate Police Station. The destination shifted again to Victoria Avenue, with vague instructions to drive a little further. It was here, as the taxi momentarily paused, that Anselm's composure utterly shattered. A sudden panicked shout erupted from his companion. Then, Anselm himself scrambled back into the taxi, his face contorted with raw terror. "Brother, let's go," he pleaded, his voice laced with desperation. "They will kill me." He desperately offered extra money, urging speed. The bewildered taxi driver, glancing in his mirrors, saw only a vehicle behind them, its headlights flashing with aggressive, undeniable intent. The silver Mitsubishi, a silent predator, swiftly overtook the taxi. Then, with chilling, deliberate precision, it swerved, cutting sharply across the Prius's path. The sudden, jarring halt at the junction of Victoria Avenue and Grangewood Street was absolute. The trap was sprung. The unseen attack. What transpired next was a lightning-fast, brutal assault. The taxi driver witnessed 4 or 5 males pour out of the Mitsubishi. 3 of them, masked, gloved and hooded, immediately swarmed the Prius. One assailant ran to the far side, blocking Anselm's desperate attempt to escape from the rear passenger door. The assailants shouted, "Get out! Get out!" The taxi driver, identifying himself, instinctively exited his vehicle, moving to the curb. He saw 2 of the males wielding large knives or sticks, estimated at 1.5 to 2 feet long. The sound of banging against his car, the visible damage to his vehicle, confirmed the ferocity of the attack. In a matter of mere seconds, a fatal stab wound was inflicted on Anselm Senaj's chest, right there in the back seat of the taxi. The perpetrators, their grim task seemingly complete, then piled back into the Mitsubishi, which sped off into the night, disappearing down Grangewood Street. The violence was over as quickly as it began, leaving behind a terrified driver and a dying man. The traumatized taxi driver, Mohammed Ullah, immediately called 999. Emergency services quickly arrived, but for Anselm Senaj, it was already too late. A passing ambulance was flagged down. Paramedics found him slumped in the back seat, no pulse, fixed pupils. Despite immediate attempts at compression, the severity of the chest wound and the extensive blood loss were deemed incompatible with life. Anselm Senaj was pronounced dead at the scene. Police secured the area. Forensic examination of the Prius revealed a vast puddle of blood on the rear seat and a baseball cap in the footwell. A trail of Anselm's blood led from the rear passenger door towards where the Mitsubishi had been parked, a crucial indicator of where the fatal blow was delivered. Subsequent DNA analysis confirmed this blood matched Anselm Senaj with a probability of 1 in a billion. Investigators meticulously documented what Anselm was carrying: 2 pairs of jogging bottoms, a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, and a heavy puffer jacket. Inside his sweatshirt pocket, they found packets of cannabis, a grinder, and a mobile number. A burner Nokia phone and his man bag containing an Albanian ID card and a bail letter from Essex police further hinted at his involvement in drug dealing, a potential motive, though not a necessary proof for the prosecution. Tests also revealed the presence of cannabis in his system, consistent with recent use. Perhaps the most significant early discovery came during the forensic recovery of the taxi. PC Garvey spotted a purple Elf Bar vape beneath the vehicle. Later analysis of DNA from this vape revealed a mixture of 2 individuals, broadly in equal amounts, those of Mohammed Samuel Mia and Ibrahim Naim. This seemingly innocuous item would become a pivotal link in the chain of evidence. The post-mortem examination, conducted by Dr. Swift, painted a grim picture of the attack's brutality. Anselm had sustained 2 stab wounds. The most significant was to his left chest, a gaping wound that measured up to 7 centimeters at the skin surface and penetrated an astonishing 27 centimeters deep. The blade had traversed his entire chest, damaging both lungs, his heart, and severing his aorta, the body's main blood vessel. This catastrophic internal hemorrhage was immediately fatal. A second, smaller stab wound was found on his right elbow, and further defects in his clothing suggested multiple stabbing motions. The cause of death was confirmed as hypovolemic shock due to the stab wound to the chest. The investigation quickly shifted to identifying the individuals in the Mitsubishi and tracing their every movement. Crucial CCTV footage from Victoria Avenue captured the chilling moments of the ambush. The Mitsubishi blocking the taxi, 4 males exiting, 3 swarming the Prius, 1 remaining near their vehicle, and the driver staying inside. The footage showed the brutal speed of the attack, with assailants wearing masks and hoods. Through comparison with CCTV footage, police identified the masked attackers. Mohammed Samuel Maya, wearing black tracksuit bottoms with a white Nike tick, was identified as one of the men who approached the Prius. Zain Ali, in a North Face tracksuit, was also identified as an aggressor. The prosecution stated Mohammed Saqib Khan inflicted the fatal stab wound. The silver Mitsubishi was found to be operating with cloned registration plates, a crucial detail in the investigation. This vehicle was, in fact, stolen weeks prior. Police discovered it had been regularly parked in Ronnie Lane, a short distance from Samuel Maya's home. A resident, Nadim Ajaz, reported seeing 2 boys in the Mitsubishi, one of whom pointed towards Jack Cornwall Street, near Maya's address. Ajaz also observed a bottle of Gorilla Wood glue and blue latex gloves discarded nearby, suggesting an attempt to apply false plates. But the digital and physical trail proved even more damning. Police obtained telephone billing records, revealing extensive contact between the 6 defendants throughout November 11th and 12th. Cell site analysis showed their phones co-locating across East London, confirming their presence together before and after the murder. A pivotal piece of evidence came from CCTV recovered from the Sayers Cabs office on Catherine Road. At approximately 8 p.m., just 2 hours before Anselm Senaj's death, all 6 defendants were clearly captured entering the taxi office: Saqib Khan, Samuel Mia, Zain Ali, Essahak Yusuf, Khalis Malik, and Ibrahim Naim. Their faces visible, their distinctive clothing captured. They waited 18 minutes, making calls, smoking vapes, and even being told not to mess around by the taxi operator. It was here that Ibrahim Naim was seen passing a vape to Samuel Mia, the same type of vape later found at the crime scene, containing both their DNA profiles. Unable to get a taxi from Sayers Cabs, Khalis Malik booked one with Alphabet Cars. The records showed the booking, made under the name Pabs, a name Malik was known by, with his phone number. The 6 males were then picked up and driven to Warrior Square. From Warrior Square, the the Mitsubishi's journey became a complex web. After dropping off passengers, Samuel Meyer was seen returning home, then emerging minutes later in a mask and different coat. The Mitsubishi, now with its cloned plates, reversed out of Ronnie Lane near Meyer's address and began an intricate route through East London. There were periods of 14 and 11 minutes where the vehicle was not sighted on CCTV, notably near Saqib Khan's and Zain Ali's home addresses, suggesting opportunities to pick up or drop off individuals or collect items. At 9:25 p.m., the Mitsubishi pulled into a shell garage on High Street North. CCTV captured Zain Ali fueling the car, while Samuel Meyer, still in his distinctive Nike tracksuit and wearing a medical mask and blue latex gloves, paid the cashier. The front registration plate was conspicuously on the dashboard, a detail consistent with the earlier sighting of the glue. Meanwhile, Anselm Senaj's taxi journey continued. At 10:04 p.m., the Prius picked up his cousin. Just minutes later, at 10:08:50, as Anselm walked away from his taxi towards Old Gatehouse on Victoria Avenue, the Mitsubishi was seen driving directly towards him. It accelerated, pulling into the parking area, clearly having spotted its target. Anselm, recognizing the imminent danger, desperately ran back to his taxi. The Prius sped away, but the Mitsubishi reversed out of the parking area and gave chase, pursuing the taxi along Victoria Avenue. At 10:09:55, the Mitsubishi overtook the Prius at the junction with Grangewood Street, blocking its path and forcing it to stop. The brutal attack then unfolded. Immediately after the murder, the Mitsubishi fled, its journey meticulously tracked by CCTV. It sped west along Grangewood Street, through Plashett Grove, Sherard Road, Church Road, Grantham Road, and finally back to Ronnie Lane, near Samuel Meyer's home, at 10:22:58 p.m. Cell site evidence for Khalis Malik's phone was consistent with this escape route. The following evening, on November 12th, the Mitsubishi was deliberately destroyed. CCTV captured an unknown male purchasing petrol in a Sports Direct bag. Then two individuals, one believed to be Esahak Yusuf, walking towards Ronnie Lane. At 7:08 p.m., the Mitsubishi emerged from Ronnie Lane, drove to Bluebell Avenue, and at 7:16 p.m., it ignited in a fiery explosion under a bridge as two figures ran from the scene. Cell site evidence placed Esahak Yusuf's phone in the vicinity of the burning vehicle. The police investigation also revealed attempts by some defendants to evade justice. Significantly, on the evening of November 12th, Mohammed Saqib Khan attempted to flee the country from Heathrow Airport on a flight to Bahrain. Appearing nervous and agitated, he claimed his grandmother was ill. Officers discovered he was on bail, with a condition to reside at his home address. He was given the option to voluntarily offload, which he did. However, inquiries later confirmed that Saqib Khan had successfully fled the country via Eurotunnel on November 14th, using a vehicle booked by his sister's boyfriend. Denials. All 6 defendants pleaded not guilty to murder, but their defenses varied. 5 of the 6 conceded they were present in the Mitsubishi that night. Mohammed Samuel Mia admitted to possessing a bladed article and approaching the Prius. However, he claimed he only intended to use the knife as a threat and had no idea Anselm Senaj would be stabbed or killed. Ibrahim Naim, the driver of the Mitsubishi, stated he was merely driving as instructed, denying any knowledge that his passengers were carrying knives or intended to attack. Zain Ali, Khalis Malik, and Esahak Yusuf all admitted to being passengers in the Mitsubishi, but maintained they had no weapons and no prior knowledge of an impending attack. Mohammed Saqib Khan, however, was the outlier. He denied being in the Mitsubishi at all during the attack, claiming he had gone home earlier that evening. The prosecution's case was clear. All 6 defendants were in the Mitsubishi, and all 6 were jointly responsible for Anselm Senaj's fatal attack. They asserted that Saqib Khan inflicted the fatal wound, with Maya and Ali being the other two who physically assaulted the Prius. The prosecution argued this was a joint enterprise, making all of them guilty of murder. The verdict and sentencing. The trial at the Central Criminal Court, the Old Bailey, laid bare the full extent of the prosecution's evidence. After hearing weeks of testimony, examining forensic reports, and considering the detailed movements of the defendants, the jury retired to deliberate. On April 11, 2025, the jury delivered its verdict. Mohammed Saqib Khan was convicted of murder and having a bladed article. Mohammed Samuel Maya was convicted of murder and had previously pleaded guilty to having a bladed article. Crucially, Samuel Maya was also convicted of 2 offences of rape, a separate case transferred to this court for sentencing. Zain Ali and Ibrahim Naim were convicted of manslaughter. Khalis Malik and Esahak Yusuf were acquitted by the jury. The profound impact of Anselm Senaj's death was then laid bare in victim personal statements, with his cousin describing the hardest pain and biggest wound the family had faced. On April 11, 2025, HHJ Judy Khan KC handed down the sentences. Saqib Khan, aged 22 at the time of the offence, was identified by the judge as the prime mover who alone inflicted that fatal stab wound, fully intending to kill Anselm Senaj. His murder conviction was aggravated by significant planning, his previous convictions for bladed articles, the group nature of the attack, its public location, and his attempt to flee the country. He was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 26 years custody, adjusted to 24 years and 276 days with time served on remand. For Samuel Mia, aged 17 at the time, the sentencing presented an extremely disturbing picture. Convicted of murder, possession of a bladed article, and 2 counts of rape, his previous convictions included offensive weapons. The judge noted the exceptionally grave nature of the rape offences, which involved a 15-year-old victim, brutal physical and sexual assault, and profound trauma. Considering the totality of his offending, Samuel Maya was sentenced to detention at His Majesty's pleasure, with a minimum term of 25 years, adjusted to 23 years and 226 days with remand. He also received 2 concurrent 8 years, 8 months detention for the rape offences and an indefinite restraining order. Zain Ali, aged 20, and Ibrahim Naim, aged 17, were both convicted of manslaughter. Zain Ali was directly involved in the attack and took Mr. Senaj's phone. Ibrahim Naim, as the driver, made Mr. Senaj a sitting target. The judge found both knew their co-defendants were armed and participated with knowledge of a high risk of grievous bodily harm. Their manslaughter convictions were aggravated by previous convictions, planning, and the group attack in a public place. Mitigating factors included their youth, with Naim also receiving a discount for his diagnoses of autism, ADHD, and ODD. Zain Ali was sentenced to 14 years custody and Ibrahim Naim to 10.5 years detention, both to serve 2/3 of their sentences before release on license, with time served on remand counting towards their terms. And so, with the verdicts delivered and sentences handed down, justice, in its relentless pursuit, found its resolution. This case stands as a stark reminder of the UK justice system's formidable power, a powerful adversary for any who seek to break the law. Understand the crime, understand the consequences, but the story doesn't end here. Join us in our next film, where we go beneath the crime, with expert analysis from one of the UK's top criminal barristers who actually defended a client in this very case. We'll delve much deeper into the legal challenges, the tactics employed by the criminal defense teams, and the intricate case built by the prosecution, and discover one jaw-dropping and unforeseen twist that left the courtroom in stunned silence during trial. See you in the next one.